What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Junkies podcast. I'm Eric, Mr. Cincinnati Robinson. As always, I'm joined by the podcast dad himself, Chris Hoops. Shoops, how we doing, buddy?
Fantastic, Mr. Cincinnati. We had a long-deserved break. Thank you to Johnny Van Frank and Taco the Tully for filling in for us. But we are back. I know you guys are happy to see us back. And there's a lot of wrestling news to talk about. NXT last night, AEW tonight, some free agent rumors and innuendo on in the wrestling world, as well as a big announcement Thursday and some different wording from TNA. So, packed episode, and I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. And thoughts out to Johnny Van Frank. He suffered a pretty serious pickleball injury, it turns out, over the holidays. And he seems to be on the mend. You know, that's good.
Yeah,
It's good. You seem fine. That's good.
It's tough. It's tough,
Yeah,
but that's the danger of pickleball. So
I wouldn't know. I've never played.
I personally have never played, so Johnny would have to explain that.
All right. Well, a little bit of housekeeping as always. Hit that QR code, like, share, subscribe. We're at over 600 followers on X right now. Help us to do the same on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. All of our socials right there in that top corner. So like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your mom if you think that anybody might like this show. I noticed it the second I did. just there we go.
What episode is this? What 91. Episode is this?
91.
You still can't get it right. Come on. It hasn't moved.
Thank you. I know that it hasn't. But it's just what we've been off for a while. Okay,
get it together. I know we've been off, and you can tell you got a little ring rust. Let's go.
That's fine. Let's do it. I want to get into some news and rumors first.
I do.
Emphasis on that, rumors.
Yep. I want to do first touch on the one we talked about before the show. It says there's a report coming out, and it is from Nick Houseman. So take it with a grain of salt. I will say that. But it is multiple sites now reporting that WWE is super high on former NWA star. Is it Camille?
Yes. Camille.
And they are in quote-unquote acquisition mode. So whatever that means. I mean, they look to... Maybe they're looking to kind of replenish the NXT roster after the WrestleMania season, and this is kind of what they're doing. We know Triple H, who seems to be in charge from all we can kind of piece together. We know he likes filling that roster up with names, right? So that could be a fun one. We got a bunch of free agent news with Dina Purrazzo talking to AEW. We got Mercedes Moné. We don't know. Could she show up tonight? I don't know. That there's some crazy stuff there. Hammerstone is still out there, not signed with anybody, but kind of doing the free agency indie scene tour. Does he get scooped up relatively soon? Andrade is expected to be in the WWE sooner rather than later. A QT Marshall, does he go to WWE with his ties with Cody? It's weird to have like a free agency season in WWE kind of happen or wrestling all at once, and a sport that does not have an off season, really ramping up right before WrestleMania is pretty cool.
I mean, man, you're not kidding, and especially because MJF had been teasing this for most of 2023, the bidding war of 2024. I know. I'm just saying in general. Because that was teased, a lot of people did start looking into, okay, well, who else are free agents this year? And there were a lot of names that were out there Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch. I think I heard that the Street Profits are. I mean, I'm not saying that these are people that are leaving. I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination. Just hear me. Hear what I'm saying. Since some people didn't want to do that yesterday as we were trying to talk, and not paying attention to the words that were coming out of our mouth, I'm going to ask you as my beloved co-host to do the same thing. Okay?
I'm listening. I'm just nodding.
All that I'm saying is that, like you said, we've not seen a period like this that is so notable of all of these names. And this is, I don't know if this is that transition of how professional wrestling is viewed. And, yes, it's an entertainment product, but these are still athletes that we're dealing with as well. And WWE is literally printing money. This is probably going to be their most successful year in company history. Their biggest WrestleMania ever is most likely around the horizon. We still haven't even really talked about, at least ourselves anyway, about how The Rock fits into the next 3 to 4 months. there's a lot to like about both companies right now, especially now that it feels like we are in a post Vince McMahon era where people are actually going to sit and look at both of their options and where they think that they can get the best value. And then this is from Kyle here at the network.
I saw
also,
that.
just someone,
I saw that. Yeah, I was going to touch on that.
Of course.
I think I'd rather have QT, probably a manager, in some kind of manager role. I don't know. I like Sean as the NXT general manager. I like the little added wrinkle of Ava Raine kind of being his sidekick or whatever. I don't know if that's the one I would go with, but I can be talked into it. You also have William Regal, who is back in the company, who I would love to be the NXT general manager again because he did such a great job with it. So I don't know if that's what I would do, but I don't have the pen, or pencil. Sorry.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, like we're talking about all these free agents coming in and out, and what the hell's The Rock gonna do? You know, when's that happening? Again, personally, I'd rather see it in Perth.
Yeah.
Because I'm at the point where I would much rather see Cody finish the story. I know The Rock and Roman would be a giant match, and I know it would be, and it would be amazing, and it just kind of feels like it should be Cody's time, and I hope they don't skip that because I think they will lose, like, I don't want to say fans, but they will lose fan interest in Cody's story if he doesn't complete it this year. And I will say, if it's Rock or Roman at Mania, Roman's going to win, and he's going to break that record.
Yeah, I'm just going to go out on a limb right now and say Rock versus Roman is not happening at WrestleMania 40. That's just my belief. And the logic really is this. We've just talked about how huge this merger has been for WWE and the opportunities that it's afforded them. Look at how they expanded internationally last year. Mm-hmm. For the most part, with the exception of maybe a couple of PLEs towards the end of the year, a lot of them felt like big deals no matter where they were. Perth is going to be no different. This is an international show. We look at how electric, pardon the pun, Montreal was last year. They're going to get the same thing over in Perth. So it's not really pertinent to have The Rock compete at WrestleMania there because there's this major international show that they're going to want to put butts in seats for. Now, while they don't get the benefit or the luxury of doing a 2-night show and having The Rock on it, this is still something that's going to make a lot of money because, by all accounts, the Australian Tourism Board is pushing for The Rock to appear there. So don't you think that that's going to drive up, they're going to come up with whatever money they have to in order to get The Rock into their country to wrestle an international show? That's going to feel like a big deal in and of itself. So if we can, put ourselves in a position to think, okay, there's still several other shows this year that are going to have an international feel. The Rumble's obviously a big deal as well. It does not need to be a WrestleMania.
No. Like, Perth is going to be in a stadium. So
yeah.
You can still have that stadium feel and make it feel like a big show, and that's how you would make it feel like a big show. And yeah, if he comes at Mania, that'd be awesome, but I don't want to see him in that match because, like, realistically, what's going to be the better match?
Between Rock versus Roman and Roman versus Cody?
Correct.
I mean, obviously, it's going to be the latter because,
exactly.
Again, we saw Monday night, Rock looked a little bit gassed there after mixing it up with Jinder there. And that's not to say that he wouldn't do whatever he can to get himself ready for, in-ring shape and be ready to go in Perth. But, the window is closing quickly to get this match. I don't see why you wait.
I mean, the only thing I would say is you wait for SummerSlam in Cleveland and then do that match. That's just me.
I know. And I get that, and I agree with you. That's awfully selfish of us to think about.
That's fine,
but
I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
I know. Yeah, I get that.
We'll both be there in our Cleveland Brown Joe Flacco Super Bowl jerseys. If that happens, I'm buying you one. No doubt. No doubt.
You really gonna just let me burn up your money like that?
It's fine.
Anyway, So, what other news we got?
So TNA is now, they were talking about a big signing coming up, and now they're saying you'll never believe who will show up. I agree with your statement that it doesn't need a title. It doesn't. And that's why maybe they wait till a SummerSlam. Selfishly, but
fair.
TNA is now, and they have rebranded as TNA, and I'm interested.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm interested in TNA, even though they might lose Trinity. But
or will they?
That is kind of what
still,
we're talking about. So they used
the
a term on their marketing as a premium live event coming up. Who does that sound like?
That's a WWE-ism. That's for sure. And I'm just gonna point this out there. Please don't waste your money on a Patrick Mahomes jersey.
No, don't do
either
that.
of us. That is
How dare
like,
you?
don't do that. That's
He didn't even win it last year.
Like,
you might as well buy me a
don't
referee jersey.
Well, yeah. Well, maybe it's a Swift jersey now.
No. That's the Super Bowl last year when the Eagles got a shitty call. So got to have Mahomes win the Super Bowl. Don't get me fired.
No, they have to have Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. Anyway, let's get back to pro wrestling here. WWE-ism to call them PLEs. I agree with you. The question is why. I don't know. This seems out of left field on one hand. On the other, I do recall very briefly saying once in passing last year, wouldn't it be interesting if WWE and TNA struck up a partnership? Does that benefit WWE to do that, knowing that AEW and New Japan have this relationship as well? And now, who knows? There's a lot of just kind of things happening at the same time, a lot of the same verbiage being used that you can't help but think that there might be something going on here. We don't know that for sure, just for anybody that's listening and wants to put words in our mouth, but,
And, I'm sure there are some ties back to TNA. Looking at you, Nick Aldis. They have some people that have been there and may be in some good graces. We'll see what happens. Triple H has a big announcement on Thursday. Again, we'll see what happens. It's all speculation. Do I think this is going to happen? If I had to give it a percent chance, I'd probably say 15%.
That's fair.
To be honest, I think it's way more speculation on our part. But WWE partnering with All Japan is, I think, a sign towards them being more open. And Triple H has always said he would be open to work with other companies if it was mutually beneficial for both companies. So I'm not going to put it past him. Is it mutually beneficial for both companies if it's TNA and WWE? For TNA, sure. For WWE, maybe. I don't know. It could be a fun angle. It could be, I don't know what it would be. But either way, it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, for sure. Before we move on and kind of get into the shows, one thing I do want to point out is I'm loving how they have branded this week as kind of a New Year's week and making it a week of events. With the best ofs last week, New Year's Evil, and then the big announcement on the 2024 preview show. These are things that they've not done before. And again, Triple H being the chief content officer, he's really in his bag and figuring out ways to do exactly that, create content, something that's beneficial. And I'm loving this because the more that they can, bring to Peacock, I'm hoping that they will consider just sticking with this model, considering we have about 2 years left on the licensing rights to Peacock and WWE Network. And again, what's that going to do to PLE prices? Because if I've got to pay for two promotions, full price for PLEs, Lord help me.
Yeah. Well, and it also has to depend on if Peacock's still around. I think the only thing holding up Peacock right now is WWE. So that's kind of where they're at. Is it smart for WWE to stay with Peacock? It's a whole thing, right? That I would lean towards them moving off of Peacock because the NBC deal was kind of a Vince McMahon baby and a Dick Ebersol baby. So
true.
Maybe Triple H wants to carve his own path and go a different way. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I will say is, I think they stole from TNA. They stole from AEW with kind of these branded weekly shows, right? Raw was day one. Then we had New Year's Evil, and now SmackDown is New Year's Revolution. Like they stole it, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. Like I like these branded TV shows that make it feel like a big deal. So I like everything that Triple H is doing right now. Just keep that women's division pumping, and we'll be good.
Yeah. Speaking of women's division, let's just get into New Year's Evil last night. I mean, the women's division was a major focus of that show last night. Kicked off with Blair Davenport, Lyra Valkyria for the NXT Women's Championship. They brought it, dude. I mean,
yeah, I wish it would have gone longer.
Yeah, they could have
used
5 or 6 more minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish it would have gone a little bit longer, and hopefully this isn't the last time we see them. It was a really good match, but that'd probably be my only gripe is I wish it would have gone just a little bit longer.
Yeah, that knee spot with Blair into the table sounded just super gnarly. She sold it well. I mean, again, we didn't expect anything less from these two. They're just amazingly talented women, and this was exactly what I wanted it to be. And yeah, like I said, just a few minutes longer, and yeah, I would put it right over the top.
Yeah, I could see Blair coming up to the main roster after Mania too.
Yeah. Speaking of getting up, Joaquin Wilde got some serious air last night.
I thought you were going a different direction. Hey, my bad.
Trying to be a little professional here, just a little bit. Work with me here. Come on.
Sorry.
Act like you've been here before. How many episodes?
But you haven't. Don't tell me you don't make those jokes. So you caught me off guard with your professionalism.
Anyway, Joaquin Wilde with
that was crazy.
The spot of the year already, and we're only 2 days into 2024.
That was nuts. How did he do that? Like, how did he get that high? That was insane.
I mean, especially when you got Del Toro and Carlito pulling the ropes. I mean, Carlito's not a small guy, so I mean, I don't know. I didn't do well in physics in high school, so.
And how have they not been on TV if they're doing stuff like that? Like, hopefully this NXT run is something good.
Yeah.
Because man, they need like give Andrade those two, and I guarantee he will make money.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I mean, do you think overall the LWO itself has run its course and probably better to find some way to reshuffle this, or
not if they get Andrade?
How do you want to see this go down?
I think if they get Andrade, that's a nice, shot in the arm. That'd be awesome for him to come in and do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Because Santos is now.
Yeah,
with,
Santos is out.
Umberto and Angel. I forgot that they were the masked men. That's why. Okay, all right. I'm with you now.
So you could have Andrade kind of take over that LWO, faction and take it in a different direction with those two and a Selena Vega. Maybe turn on a Carlito or something, have a feud with him, kick Ray out, that kind of stuff, and have Andrade lead. Because I think I don't remember. No, because Selena was with Austin Theory and Angel. That's who that was.
Wait.
It was during the pandemic. Right. It was during the pandemic.
Oh yeah.
I forgot. Everybody forgets that Austin Theory was on a WrestleMania before.
Oh, so smart. Yeah.
He was Vince's pet. Yes, that. I think that group could work because of the chemistry that Zelina and Andrade already have, and then it gives these two more TV time that I think they sorely deserve.
Yeah, I mean, And I also don't want to rule out, or let's not forget about Elektra Lopez, Lola Vice, because there was that interaction a couple of weeks ago. Lola just kind of didn't seem to care that Elektra was catching up with the boys. Like, it wasn't even a major conversation or anything like that. It was literally just a hey, and she couldn't be bothered to have any interest in that. So I don't know. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you could do, and a lot of moving parts that you could do to put these groups together. Either way, be entertaining as hell, I think, anyway.
Too.
Yeah. So I think that great moment for them. No quarter catch crew taking another loss. Drew Gulak also took an apple to the face and did not seem to be too pleased with Miles Bourne and Damon Kemp here. Charlie Dempsey also lost over at the All Japan show. I believe it was yesterday. Is this kind of the beginning of the return of William Regal to TV, do you think?
God, please. Just please. I don't care how you do it. Just get him back on the television. That's all I care. All I care about. We don't deserve William Regal, but we deserve him on our TV. That's it.
That's fair.
That's all I have. That's all I have on that.
Okay.
Can we talk about the men's breakout tournament final?
Yeah, Obafemi is the truth. He is going to have a massive 2024. Yeah, I mean, dude, that chop on the
dude, just the way he's throwing him around is just impressive. Like that dude is, and they kept saying he's the Nigerian giant.
Yes, I mean,
who else is that?
I don't really care.
No. Stay with me. Are they replacing that? Are they replacing that moniker? Because Omos was not a Triple H project.
He was not. That is true. I'll give you that. I will give you that.
That was something that stuck out because they kept harping on that. And I'm like, don't we already have a Nigerian giant? And we haven't seen him in a while. And you cannot tell me that pairing Obafemi with MVP wouldn't work.
Oh, that'd be great.
Right?
That'd be great. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And, kudos to Riley Osborne, too. I did not actually expect him to make it to the finals of this breakout tournament. But, he's got a good look. He can move. He's already in, he's in a prominent spot with Chase U, so he'll still get that interaction. But
he's in the Dusty tournament now, isn't he?
Yes, with Duke Hudson. Still waiting on that heel turn. It sounds like I might be waiting a little bit longer.
It's not coming.
I will wait patiently. I will wait patiently.
Can we talk about the booking of the men's tournament real quick?
Sure. What you got?
Why was Lexus King in it?
I don't know.
Who did that help?
I don't know. No one.
It didn't help anybody.
Not Trey Bearhill.
It didn't help him. It didn't help Lexus King because he lost. Like I don't. That was weird booking for me. I didn't understand it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It is what it is.
So we talked before the show, and we were on Chase U real quick. But before the show, I said I had a hot take on Reddit that I saw. That again, I can't remember who posted it. I apologize.
It's all right.
But it was, if you would have told me 6 months ago that JC Jane was the Shawn Michaels of Toxic Attraction, I would have told you were crazy. Who saw that coming?
Yeah, no.
And you can't tell me it's a bad take.
It was because man, I did not care for their one-on-one feud. I just wasn't like it wasn't good. It wasn't good. That's my opinion on it. It wasn't.
The cage match was all right.
Yeah, I was skeptical of her joining Chase U because I wasn't sure if this was a way to spin off Thea Hale to see what she has on her own and maybe be kind of a sidekick to JC. But JC has grown into this babyface character. She's got some edge. It's basically like she's a good person that has an edge, that has some street smarts, that's going to try to get something done. So I am liking where they're going with this right now, just because honestly the whole we're in debt and it's all like that's just not working for me because there's no why. I mean, it's not like we've seen Andre Chase. I know that, but we up until we saw him shooting dice with OTM, another tag team I just can't stand. Kyle, I'm sorry. I know it's the name of your podcast, but I still don't like that tag team. It's hard to buy them being managed by somebody that used to be Carmelo's lackey. All that I am saying is that we have
tag
not
team
seen,
champions.
You shut your mouth. All that I am saying is that up until we saw that one time with Duke Hudson hood up MVP trophy and them shooting dice, they had not shown that before. So how am I supposed to invest if this has been happening for ages and they only show that to me one time?
You can gamble on your phone so easily.
I'm aware of that, but how hard is it to do a vignette of somebody on their phone? They do it all the time. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Thank you. You're only proving my point.
We never know. But I just wanted to throw that out there, and maybe people listening discuss that amongst yourselves. How about JC Jane being the Shawn Michaels?
Sorry.
How about JC Jane being the Shawn Michaels?
I mean,
Gigi ain't it.
In what context? Because, I mean, if we're talking, I'm not saying she's a bad wrestler or anything like that. I mean, she's not Shawn Michaels. But if you're just saying as far as being the over character of the two since the breakup. Okay.
Yes. That's that anytime a team breaks up, they go, who's the Shawn, who's the Marty? So don't give me that. Don't you know?
I'm sorry that I asked the questions. It's what I do for a living.
Well, we got 2 Seans in the Trick Mello breakup because I think both of them are going to be fantastic.
Well,
not getting that match last night sucked because they had advertised
that was not
it.
Great.
I was expecting Trick to win,
change.
and it didn't happen. 2, this story is starting to drag.
Yeah.
It's starting to drag hard.
Yeah, and it's already been like that for a couple of weeks already, man. So let's, because I know we're all over the place about this episode of NXT, but since we're talking about it right now, and I said this before we went live. What's the point of doing the pre-tape last week where Ilya rips off the neck brace to shake Trick's hand like he's ready to go and like, hey, there's nothing here. I'm good. Let's do this. Only to follow that up with that doesn't make any sense. That's just me.
It doesn't unless like Ilya has another injury and not ready to come back, or I don't know if he went home for the holidays or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. And we haven't heard anything definitive anyway, so I don't think it matters because we probably will never know. But at what point like are we as a viewer not to just think Trick is a total idiot? Like that he jumped you, and we're just waiting. Like, how are you not seeing everything that's happening? Him accepting matches for you, him making matches for you, him trying to get involved in literally everything you're doing. Like, how are you not seeing this? Like that's where I'm at. Like we're getting to the point where the babyface is looking really dumb.
I agree 100%. I mean, again, this was a fun story because it is a throwback to what was one of my favorite programs, and that's how we kicked off 2 years. Retribution. That's how we kicked off 2 years of Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. Okay.
Oh, you said it. I did.
I did say that. Okay.
Yeah.
What can we do? All right.
Oh, it's your show now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's your show and you've got a point too. That's how this works. Okay. Anyway, it's yeah. So 2-year program. It did not take that long for Shawn to figure out.
Oh, was I on screen? My bad. Didn't see that.
Did not take Shawn that long to figure out that it was you, Hunter, who put me through the window. They had, camera magnification technology. I'm sure that wasn't a word. I know. NXT Anonymous can figure this out.
How are they do not have any video?
QTV can figure this out.
Nobody can. No, like I need this story to go. I need Mello to turn already and go. I need it to happen. And I think maybe they attacked Trick too soon, and now they're trying to scramble because I think they are waiting for Stand and Deliver for this to happen, like their big show blow off, like to finally have this match. Fair. But like, and it was the same thing with the Devil storyline. Pull the Band-Aid.
Yeah,
let's get it going. We got to get it moving.
Because that's the thing. NXT's schedule compared to a WWE PLE schedule, these are not international grand scale events that no matter where you go, it's going to be this. I mean, obviously NXT shows are great. They do well, business wise, crowd wise, all of that, but they're not PLEs. And that might be that's the issue here is, waiting this long. If you are going to drag this story out, it just,
you gotta make it.
I don't know. I think that they should have found other people that could have gotten involved in it as potential red herrings, other than Lexis King using this to get himself onto a TV special and a payday.
I would have to agree. You want to, as we wrap this up, kind of preview Dynamite?
Very quickly. Also, Fallon Henry showed up and showed out. I am not a fan of Ariana Grace's character just yet. Roxanne,
I love
Perez,
it.
I'm digging the edge here.
I love Ariana Grace's character. It is so good. How do you not like it?
Miss Congeniality is one of my favorite movies, and this character still ain't doing it for me.
No, this character's so good.
I need more.
I disagree with you.
There are more things that she could do to be just a pain in the ass pageant contestant. There are so many things that they could do. So many.
No, I disagree with you. I'm sorry.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, let's move on to Dynamite real quick to wrap up the show. Christian Cage, now a two-time TNT champion. He's going to do a State of 2024 address. This is probably going to set up another match with Adam Copeland, I would have to imagine. Orange Cassidy will be taking on Dante Martin for the International Championship. Mariah May will be taking on Queen Aminata. I don't think that I've seen her on TV since last year, so I'm excited for that. Also excited to see a full Mariah May match. I mean, that's the one thing that stinks about Japanese promotions is you don't get a lot of their stuff on YouTube. So I'm excited to see, one of her matches in full. Let's see. Samoa Joe is going to be on the card. I'm just sure wiping his tears with his new championship belt. Yeah. And most importantly, Adam Cole is going to explain his actions. So we're going to see kind of the why behind this group. Maybe we'll get an explanation of why Wardlow's in it. That will satisfy the podcast, Dad, but I don't want to get my hopes up.
No, and just announced Daniel Garcia versus Swerve.
That'll be fun. Okay.
So
cool.
A fun match.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun card ahead. As always, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We're just 9 episodes away from 100, dude. Can you believe it? You didn't think we'd make it past 5.
I did not.
And here we are.
The phone in my basement. I was like, what are we doing?
But it worked, man. It absolutely worked. Before we go, the matchup of the dances, according to Kyle, he is absolutely right. I'm just ready for it. This is Swerve's time. It's Swerve's year, and just we're gonna get after it, man.
Swerve's dance is 10 times better than Daniel Garcia's.
Yeah, I mean, which one can you do the best?
Neither. And I will not be.
We'll
not be shown doing that live.
Yet. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode of the Wrestling Junkies podcast. As always, hit that QR code top left. Like, share, subscribe. Yes, definitely debatable. Help us to get those numbers up. We've got a couple of episodes of Stump the Smart coming out this week. A fun little comedy skit from yours truly. And then we still got the blooper reel of our OTME's presentation speech, which, again, if you've not checked out, go find it on our Twitter page. X, I guess it is now. Any final thoughts, podcast dad?
Nope. I'm excited to see CM Punk, your favorite wrestler, next Monday.
Yeah, we'll see how he addresses everything that's going on with the World Heavyweight Champion and the Royal Rumble. And his old buddy Dwayne Johnson now calling a shot at the head of the table and
he's not going after
Mania
that title.
Season into chaos.
He's not going after that title. He'll be fine.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. But again, we'll be back tomorrow night, 6:30 as always. Thank you so much for the podcast, Dad and Mr. Cincinnati. This has been the Wrestling Junkies podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.